Today I have a very special guest with me, Uncle Philip. Uncle Philip, can you please introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. The youngest in charge, the man with a beautiful smile. My name is Philip Ozoma. I'm a community and youth expert, as well as the minister of God. I have this affinity with the youth or the young, and I take joy in seeing young people, have a right start in life and focused on what and the parts that make them to be responsible citizens.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Today, me and Uncle Philip are going to be talking about how to stay on the right path as a younger in life. Because that's a very important topic to us youngers and to others as well, because others enjoy seeing when youngers make it in life, and also us youngers, we want to make it in life. So Uncle Philip, do you have any tips of how youngers can stay on the right path in life and not get distracted?
Yes, the very beginning is from the home. It is believed, and that is true, that every home without a discipline is a community, a collective community that's in chaos. So parents have the onus to imbue in their children the first fundamental values of life, even before they start their educational life. So for any child that wants to grow up very well and focused, first and foremostly must pay attention to the parental instruction. That is a foundational step. But most unfortunately, I must say, sometimes you don't give what you don't have. Some parents haven't got good upbringing themselves, and when they go into childbearing, they are bereaved of what to train them. But for a good child, the first and foremost value you imbibe in life is listen to your parents. Every parent have a mindset to have their children turn out to be great children inside.
Yes, that's a very good input. Like as Uncle Philip said, everything he just said, I agree with that. That was a very perfect input. And like for an example, if you're a child and say you're going somewhere and you're misbehaving, parents are going to look at you and they're going to say, who is this child's mom or who is this child's dad? They're not going to put the blame on you. They're going to look at your parents. They're going to think that your parents didn't give you the right upbringing. So the first question they're going to ask is who is this child's parents? So it's, as the foundation, it starts out with your parents. If your parents don't bring you up right from young, then you're not just going to start learning when you're older. It just doesn't work like that. So when you start from the foundation and you start when your parents start bringing you up from young, as you grow up, you'll know the ways, you'll know the right ways, and you'll stay on the right path. But do you think there's like something in particular that you tend to get distracted in, like peer pressure or just anything like that?
Yes, there's always, psychologically the youth pressure is there. It's a way of growing up. When the hormones have kicked in at a particular age, say from the age of 12, so to speak, there's hormonal changes, both male and female, and you see some kind of, tendency in a young person to think, I can do this myself and all that kind of stuff. But nevertheless, every good parent should know that's a time to dig your head in, to steer them, in the pathway. It's not everything that they want, because they don't know anything they're doing then. It's just the hype. So every good parent should look into their children, get them into conversations, teach them things, even by storytelling, you tell them, some facts of life. Yeah. And then that boils down to the child. If you have a listening ear, if you do, you are going to be focused in life. Before you go to the school, no matter at what level of school, you'll be able to know what your mom and dad said to you, and you carry it on to the class. The teacher is a mom and dad in the classroom. So if you listen to your parents, listen to the teacher, and if you want to know what they're there to do, listen. Listen.
Like as you said, that's also a really good input. Like some people think that they can be very good at home and go to school and misbehave, the respect that you give your parents should be the same exact respect that you give your teachers, because there's no difference. Your teachers are not your age mate, your teachers are way older than you. So if you respect your parents at home, you should also respect your teachers. You shouldn't think that just because your teachers didn't raise you up that you shouldn't be giving them respect. And for youngers, they sometimes they might be good at home. Then when they like go out with their friends, they might get a bit older. Their friends will be saying, "Oh, don't listen to your mom. She doesn't know how to have fun. Do this, do this, do this." You might be saying no, but they'll be pushing you, and you want to try it. But that's peer pressure. You shouldn't let peer pressure get to you. Whatever you do, even if it's something dumb, like what my mom tells me is be smart and be alive, or rather than being dumb and be in the grave. Because at the end of the day, if you do something dumb, they're not gonna die. If it's really that bad, they're not gonna die. You're the one that's gonna get injured. It's gonna be on you. So as my mom says, be smart and be alive rather than being dumb and be in the grave. So that's a good saying that my mom was told me from young, and I've carried that since I've been older. It's basically, if I just elaborate on that saying, it's just saying, don't let peer pressure get to you. Anything that your friends are pushing you to do, stand your ground and be your own person. You don't have to listen to them. Just because smoking is cool and they're smoking, you don't have to do it or anything like that.
Yeah, that is a great mom you have there, and I thank God for your life that you're able to listen. That's, if you go back to what I said before, if a child that listens, would never leave the values that the parents have, imbued in him or her. But those who don't listen, they may be there, you're saying it, they have this what's called selective listening. They are standing there, but they shut their minds off what you're saying. And they go out there and do whatever they like. But at the end of the day, the ones who listens are few in number, and it goes away to show the kind of child one is going to be if you are the one who listens to your parents. If you make your parents your friends, if you listen to them, then that will provoke love. And when you have love in you, you are contented. You will not be how will I say it? You wouldn't be empty, so to speak, because you have the residual knowledge inside of you, and you know that mom and dad is saying this to me because they want me to be a good child. They are proud of they are very proud of me. But when you are empty, you go out there and say, no, I can't do it. I don't hear them. I have my way. Okay. And let us be realistic. Those who think they have their way will end up have no way at all.
Yeah.
Sincerely, that's the people you see in antisocial behaviors. They never listen at home, or they come from homes that nobody cared to teach them.
Yeah, that's a perfect input. Like as you said, but it also plays a very big part on their parents, because if the parents don't teach their children what to do from the young age, it's going to be the parents' fault, not really the child, because the parents have to start from the beginning. Like in the Bible, it says if you leave a child to take care of themselves, you're leaving a child to their own destruction. Mm-hmm. So
you're under a curse because you're not of God.
You even have a caller in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, can you please state your name and where you're from?
My name is Mike Ebel, and I'm from Germany.
Okay, thank you for tuning in, Mike Ebel from Germany. Uncle Philip, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, Mike Ebel, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. How's the situation out there in Germany?
Everything's nice.
Okay. Do you have any question for me?
It is how to stay on the right path as a youth.
My question is, what could children nowadays do to avoid bad influence?
What do you have to do to avoid bad influence?
Yes.
Okay, you have to draw a target. You have to have a resolution on yourself, what you want out of life. Then you go back to whatever instruction you are being given at home on what to do. Start from domestic chores. What do you do step by step? Instead of go out there, do something in the house to keep yourself busy. That way you can avoid anybody influencing you. Then if you have to go out, you have to mark out what they're going out to do and who are you going to go out with. So you occupy yourself with, things that is productive, things that will put you, give you knowledge, things that will keep you, spiritually alert, And then when you go out there, you will not be influenced. Rather, you will be an influence to people in the positive direction. That is how to stay out of trouble. Don't just, allow anything speaking to you to just, take a plunge into it. You have to ask yourself, what is this for me? What am I doing this? What is it what my father said to me? What will my mother say? And God that we are talking about is a spirit. Wherever you are, whether you're in the presence of your parents or your teachers, the Spirit of God is there watching you. So you ask yourself, what am I doing? Is there any fear of God in what I'm doing? If you go in this way, I am telling you, nobody can influence you. If anybody come on to you, very church, tell them that no, I'm not into it. Please back off. It is your right to say no to whatever you don't like or whatever you've been told is not good. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you for the answer.
God bless you.
Thank you so much for calling in, Mike, and have a very good day in Germany. And like when you pray to God, your blessings don't come straight away. They might even come later. But for some people, they might be praying at a time and their blessings didn't come at the time. Then they start asking, where is God when I needed them? And all this. They still need to have faith because the blessings will still come later on if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, I'll go with this scripture that says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And a lot of people are ignorant, even those who go to church. They go to church for the wrong reasons. But if you are a true child of God, you should know that money, living in mansions or big houses or big name does not make you a child of God. Okay? God is God, does not matter what your situation is. Okay? There's no matter to, but if you have faith in Him, even when you drink water in a day, you will be contented. You give God thanks in that. Yeah. That is the way to go. Yeah. You don't need to. If you're going towards what you have, then covetousness, greed will take over, and you will never have satisfaction in them.
Yeah. Like in the Bible, it also says, "Be contented with what you have."
God bless you.
So that's basically, that just elaborates on what you just said. But right now, time is very short, and then we're just going to end here. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We're going to be back another day this week. And if you also want to reach us to come on one of our shows, you can reach us through our email again, which is urockmagazines@gmail.com. You can also reach us through our phone number, which is 089-967-5930. And also you can reach us at our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, which is Urock Media 1. And thank you for tuning in.
You see, then about learning, again, fundamentally from the home, when you should teach a child every rudiment, every, in a structured form, honestly, you don't need to be too hard-headed on them, but you should, put the things in place and draw them back if they are going into error. Yeah. But I tell you, some children, stay on that line, and they are always glorious. They are always glorious, always glorious, always.
Yeah. Well, the parent just has to know when to put their foot down, and if things are getting out of hand, you just have to know how to control it. Because at the end of the day, say for a school, you're going out with your class and you're wearing your school uniform, you're representing your school.
That's correct.
Whatever you do is on your school's name.
That's correct.
And if you go out, you're representing what you do. You're representing your family's name.
That's
correct. Not only your parents, but your whole family's name. For an example, if somebody does something bad, and somebody sees them and they know their family, they're going to start thinking that, oh, this family, just because what that one person done, they're going to start looking at the whole family, that their parents didn't bring them up properly, and maybe their brothers and sisters are like that as well. So you just have to know when to respect yourself, even when you're outside or when you're inside, because even though you don't have a uniform saying your surname, your family's name, you're still going to be representing your family.
That is where values comes in. Where values come in. God values. For God values is what you're going to carry on all through life. In every stage of your life, if you are, the one that is strong, in values, you go out there and you never let go. But when you don't imbibe those values, you are like a dry leaf that every form of, wind blows about, and they end up with nothing, so to speak. But some of the times you see those children that are empty, they just exhibit ignorance, complete ignorance. It makes them edgy. You know, they think the only way to announce themselves is by being to misbehave. You know, but a very confident child who has values would comport him or herself in such a manner that is honorable, because they know who they are. They are not moved about by whatever. And if any of their mates come to them to say, "Oh no, why are you this way?" They know who they are. They know, what they have. They'll say to them, "Back off." Yeah. I'm not going to do that. That's not for me. But when you give room to those who have no values to intimidate you or to draw you to their own side, then that means you never learned anything at all. Yeah.
That's a very perfect example. Like, if you know the home you're coming from and somebody tries to talk you into something, you shouldn't be